welcome to the meditation talk for this evening. I'm Miss Macy, and tonight we are addressing the question of the week, which is, what are you pretending not to know? And I'm addressing this from a perspective of a whole body approach, right? So I can't remember the exact title of the talk, to be honest, but it was something to do with your gut, your heart, and your mind, right? And Jared, how about you swing around here so I'm not looking at nobody? Thank you. And then so it's really interesting when we have things in our life that we would rather that they weren't there, right? They're feelings that we have, their situations with people, their just circumstances that we have in our life. And sometimes we just pretend that they're not there because we'd rather not address them, right? We avoid them, we do all those like fun things that humans do with situations they don't like. And it's really, some things you can pretend you don't know, like, I don't know, it's the way something's growing in your garden, I don't know, whatever. Some things don't matter very much, but some things do matter. And when you have the things that do matter that you're pretending that don't exist, then that can cause problems down the track, later on, right? It's maybe, I don't know, you've got credit card debt and you're not paying attention to it. You're pretending that you don't have credit card debt and you're still spending like you don't have credit card debt, and then the credit card debt gets bigger, and then you've got a bigger problem, right? So that's the sort of thing that we want to not avoid, but actually face head on and go, well, how do I manage this? What is it that I need to do to mitigate this situation and turn it around? Maybe there's a situation with a family member where you had an argument with them and now you're pretending that it didn't exist, that the argument didn't happen, and pretending as if life is going on and everything is as normal. Yet there's probably some tension in the air between the two of you. And so when you pretend that things don't exist, pretend that you don't know that there's some tension there or whatever it is that's going on, then that's the time when there's like there's a rift in the relationship. And it's usually better to address that rift in a way that's going to be productive for both of you. So one of the things I wanted to address here was how typically when we're in that kind of situation, a lot of us go straight to our minds and think, what do we know about this situation? How do I know how to fix this? What's my brain tell me how I know how to fix this? And that can work in some situations, right? I mean, it's probably helpful with the credit card debt on one level where you're just like, well, I just need to stop spending so much and need to pay down my credit card debt so it can go away, right? Relatively simple if I'm able to do that. And sometimes there are things where, like perhaps if we take the example of the credit card debts, sometimes people have an issue with, they have an emotional issue with overspending and shopping. Like they just really want to shop. And then why are they shopping? And that's got more to do with the emotional release that shopping provides than it does to do with whether or not they need the stuff, right? And when you pretend not to know that you have an emotional issue, that you're trying to deal with the emotional issues that you have, rather than dealing with, that you're not dealing with the emotional issues and you're pretending you don't have emotional issues and you're just shopping, then you're digging yourself deep into a deeper hole. So one way that we can address this is by asking our gut, our heart, and our mind for answers. So it's really interesting how the nervous system is all connected, and our hearts and our guts are both connected through our nervous system to our brain. So our hearts can actually produce oxytocin, which is a feel-good drug for our brains. It's like it's a happy drug. So when we feel warmth and love and heartfelt love for somebody, we're producing oxytocin and our brain's responding in that way. And conversely, when we have stress that happens in our body, then our emotional centers, the amygdala and that sort of thing, they're producing cortisol, producing all of the stress hormones that negatively affects the heart. So when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling anxiety and there's some cortisol, there's some tension going on in your body, then that's going to inform your head too. This is, look out, we're under stress right now. Your heart's telling you under stress. And a really similar thing happens for your gut too. So the nervous system interacts with your brain in a way that your gut can get really upset with extra stress. You'll start to feel, maybe you've given a talk or a presentation, and you start to feel butterflies in your tummy, and that's a signal for that's stress that's happening in your body. In your gut, that's then telling your brain, hey, look, I'm really nervous right now, right? So when we listen to our body, when we listen to our gut, when we listen to our heart, they can also inform our mind and tell us what's going on a whole body system. So a really nice exercise to do if you're in a place where you're feeling some distress, and you want it to be different, is you can just ask yourself, you say, okay, if I can just imagine myself being relaxed right now, I just take a breath in, breath slightly longer out, take a few breaths probably, and then sit and ask my gut. Maybe I'll do it with my eyes closed so I can really feel my body without having the attention come into me and through my visual cortex, or visual system. And I just ask my gut, hey gut, what do you know about this situation that I want to be different? What do you know about that? And usually, if you listen, you get an answer. And it might be something completely different that your head hadn't thought about, which is great, it's awesome. And then you can move up to your heart, ask the same thing from your heart. Hey heart, what do you know about this situation? And then you can say to yourself, now that I know what I know from my mind, and what I know from my heart, and what I know from my gut, now I know something different to do is, and say the different things that your gut and your heart and your mind gave you, given the question. So I would say that usually the not knowing is not really true, because some part of us knows. Like, we're just pretending that we don't know. And some part of us knows what's actually going on. So when we get to listen to our whole bodies, when we get to listen to our whole system, then we get more information about the situation that's bothering us, whether it be a financial thing, a relationship thing, a circumstance that's going on in our lives, anything like that. And it's an opportunity then to do something different and see what outcomes happen. Can you always control it? No. can't always control what the weather's going to do. You just have to accept what the weather's doing. But the question is, can you address how you respond in that situation? And you can. You get to choose how you're responding in any situation and how you are able to either address the thing that you're pretending about or not, you know? And sometimes it can help to talk to somebody who's not involved in the situation so that you can get an outside perspective. And it's worthwhile, in my experience, to be very, very honest in that situation so you can actually not pretend in that situation. And then often what happens is that you realize that what you thought might happen probably is not going to happen. Like you get a different perspective and you get a different way of seeing things, and then you're able to like mitigate the situation or find a different way around it, anything like that. It's like when we're practicing in martial arts and we're sparring with somebody and we're pretending that they're the same size as us. And I'm sparring with Sam and he's got much longer arms. It's not going to work because I'm going to get hit every single time because my distancing is going to be wrong. You know, martial arts is a very it's not very easy to pretend in martial arts because your partner's going to get you. And it's a really refreshing way to like view yourself and be like, okay, well, what's really going on? What's really happening here right now? And how is it that I'm responding to that? And how can I respond in a way that's going to be helpful for me and helpful for my partner? So that's the thing I'm going to end with tonight. And I think the main message I'd like you to take away is coming back to your breath, coming back to your body, coming back to your heart and your gut, and incorporating your whole system to inform you of how you can respond differently in different situations when you need to. So with that, we'll sit. All right. Do a slightly longer meditation tonight. Be about 20 minutes, maybe 25. You can see the clock. Yeah. All right, so spine straight, eyes closed, chin parallel to the floor. Take a breath in all the way down to your belly. Notice how your gut is right now. Take a few breaths in with your attention on your heart. Notice how your heart is feeling right now. What are your emotions telling you right now? As you're paying attention to your breath, make your exhales slightly longer than your inhales. Allow your vagus nerve to interact with your brain. using prefrontal cortex area of your brain as you breathe longer and slower. Pay attention to what your whole body is telling you. And now let that go and focus on your breath. And as any thoughts come up, just let them go and come back to the breath. No big deal. Come back to the breath as many times as it takes.